Hello everybody, welcome back to Nerville Super Movie Ninja. Today I will be reviewing Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now, this movie's, let's face it, it's not as good as people are saying. It's good. For an animated Spider-Man, it's pretty good. But the problems with this movie are pretty big. So I'll start with what I don't like about it. The animation style. Now, I did like the first one. I thought the animation style was pretty good for the first one, but this just upscales it too much. It's trying to do all of these different animation techniques all at once. But if we also have in our minds, we also have to remember that our cameras, this animation, our technology is not prepared to do all of these animations at once, show all of these different character movements all at once. And now it is pretty cool that every character gets their own frame rate. For example, Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, gets a 1.1 frame rate. Then Miles Morales, he goes at a 2.2 frame rate. And then we got Hobie Brown, who goes at a 3.3 frame rate. Apparently, they took like 4 years just to animate that character. So yeah, just like I said, our technology is not prepared to go at all of these weird things, and definitely not 3.3s. Because if it took 4 years just to animate Hobie Brown, aka Spider-Punk, that means the rest of the movie only took a year. So we could have. So that means, for example, Beyond the Spider-Verse, if they're trying to re-put Hobie Brown in this Spider-Punk, we're gonna be waiting most likely 5 years again. Right now we're in 2023, so 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. We'll most likely not get till 2028 Beyond the Spider-Verse actually. But either way, so our technology is not really prepared to do all of these different animation styles all at once. Now, another problem with the movie is kind of sort of that, well, we don't really get our main villain in the spotlight much. Now, there was actually a few times when watching the movie, I thought, wait, do we have a villain in this movie? Like, I was literally full on forgetting that the Spot was the villain. Because we don't get enough of the Spot. So, I mean, sure, we got, those little scenes, but we never got, any big battles with the Spot. We never got really anything to do with the Spot. The Spot's kind of pushed aside. And we realized practically that our villain's Miguel O'Hara. Yes. Our villain suddenly is Miguel O'Hara. So I know this is not supposed to be, but it ends up feeling like that. We just put aside Spot, Spot, for Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099. That makes no sense. Then, and I understand this is supposed to be a part 1 of a part 2 story, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and then Beyond the Spider-Verse, but we don't get any really good action. The action is not really there. It's not in the story, really, the action. We have half an hour of just a literal captain ceremony party or something. Ceremonial party or something. We really don't get much action. Whereas the first one had its fair share of good action. Now this does have good action. The web sling shots are really good, so those are some pros. When it does go to action, it has that good action. The web sling, like I said, pros, it does do justice to characters. It doesn't put aside the characters like they're nobodies. It does show up for the characters. But, like I said, not much action there. And it's real light on the comedy. Like, for example, Spider-Man 2 Spider-Verse has some really good comedy, I would say. For a Spider-Man movie, it has some good comedy. Even Tom Holland's, Tobey Maguire's, Andrew Garfield's, those all weren't light on comedy. And if they were, they were expected. This had jokes, but like, the only real memorable one is the chai tea one. Chai tea, chai means tea. And then, like, that's the only real memorable joke. And I mean, like, the you create me, like, that somehow became a meme? That's not even the comedy scene. How does that become a meme? Like, some of it, what jokes are in it, they just don't really work. And now I'll go to my pros for the movie. Like I said, when we do get action, we get good action. When we get those good web sling shots, we get those good web sling shots. For an anime movie, that's some pretty good web sling shots. Then 3, we get a lot of good Spider-Gwen scenes. This is practically Spider-Gwen the movie. This has more Spider-Gwen than Miles Morales. And Spider-Gwen is my favorite character in the movie, so I think that does pretty good justice to her character. So that's one of the biggest pros for me. We get a little more, like, we did kind of into comic book territory for Spider-Gwen. We get the same things that are in Spider-Gwen issue number 1 from 2015. We get those things, and I've read that comic, so I know that that's true, that we get those things, and that's a pretty big pro. So it does justice to characters, like I said. Spider-Gwen gets some good comic book accuracy, and I do like to see that in my superhero movies. Because there's nothing worse than the feeling of watching a superhero movie where you literally have no idea what superhero they're trying to follow. For example, a movie like Wonder Woman, as I reviewed that before. That's not a Wonder Woman movie, because Wonder Woman's not a World War II veteran. And they're putting fictional things in non-fictional places. So, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse does do good with making comic book accuracy. I haven't read any Miles Morales comics. I've read a bit of the first one, but I didn't really like the first one. I thought the animations I thought the illustrations are kind of sloppy for a comic book. They're trying to go a little realistic route, which is kind of odd because they do the exact opposite of that with Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, where they make it like a comic book. So, that kind of like iffy right there, but either way, does justice to those characters. Spider-Man 2099, I've read most of the first comic. They did pretty good justice to him. I didn't really know that he was supposed to be a vampire though, but it at least they didn't give him like web fluid, because in the original comic, Spider-Man 2099 is not supposed to have web fluid. He is technically supposed to be a vampire, so he can't swing on webs. He's not supposed to do that like other Spider-Man, because he was okay. So just to give you a little inside scoop of Spider-Man 2099, aka Miguel O'Hara, he wasn't bit by a spider. He was in an electric dome where a spider and his DNA got fused together. So he literally is a spider, technically. So, but he can't web sling like the average Spider-Man, so they did justice there too. Another thing I do like about the movie is there are parts where you get really intrigued. Those plot twists hit hard. Now not gonna tell you how that plot twists are, because this movie has already made $600 million. So far, it's close to $700 million. The business is not slowing down for this movie. So I know probably more people are gonna go see this. So I'm not gonna spoil anything for you. But and I am someone who saw this right away. So overall, yeah, those plot twists are pretty good. The crowd was really like pleased. Everyone was shocked when it said Beyond the Spider-Verse. So yeah, I mean those plot twists do hit. in like the right places that it should hit. So overall, those are pretty good plot twists. So those are my cons and my pros. I start with my cons just because I want to give more of what I initially felt when I first saw it. Now, time for the big question: Spider-Man to Spider-Verse versus Across the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse is overall a better movie, I'd say. Into the Spider-Verse is good, but I guess Across the Spider-Verse is a better movie because it gives you a better superhero story, I guess. But overall, Into the Spider-Verse is structured more than Across the Spider-Verse. So, I will say it's a very iffy movie. Don't get me wrong. I love I love everything with Spider-Man. This is not the best superhero movie in cinemas right now. I'd say if you want to go see a superhero movie, go see The Flash. That's the best one in cinemas so far. Um, and people are saying that this is better than No Way Home. I'm sorry, but Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, and Andrew Garfield all in No Way Home. That's the biggest crowd pleaser you can get. Across the Spider-Verse is not better. It does not tell a better multiverse story. In fact, it actually tells a more convoluted multiverse story. So, would I recommend it? I gotta say, this is gonna be a hot take, but no, I do not recommend it. And I only don't recommend it just because there's the Flash interference right now. That is a bigger grin that will induce on your face. There's even Transformers by the Beast is now out of fears, but when that was in two, that should have gone pretty much more business too. That was pretty awesome. Just a good overall movie. Of course I'd say see this over Elemental or see this over Ruby Gilman Teenage Kraken. But overall, Cross the Spider-Verse is a big old flop for me. 8 out of 10 though for a good animated movie, I'd say. So it is good for what they can do for an animated movie. It's just not the best. I will do a Spider-Man movie ranking of all Spider-Man movies. So just like tie into this. So like just to like tie into this, like give it like a little tie-in video. So tell me in the comments though if you do want to see an all Spider-Man movies ranked video. I'll gladly do that. But just like I said to tie into this. But overall, have a great day. Have yourself a fun time at the movies. I know Oppenheimer, Barbie, all that stuff's coming out. So there's stuff for you to go see. But have yourself a fun time at the movies. Be a movie ninja. I'll even somehow, if you put in the comments you want to be a movie ninja, I know how to literally put movie ninja tag on you. So, if you want to be a movie ninja, put in the comments ninja. So you gotta put, and I'll put a tag on you, like a tag in the sense that like you are an official movie ninja. So have a great day. Have yourself a great time at the movies if you want to go see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse or just any new movie that's coming out. And I guess Super Movie Ninja is out!